What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Pedro and Hannibal podcast, number something something. I'm here with my boy Pedro. We've been doing this for a couple of months, actually, and I would say we're finally getting some momentum. People are enjoying the content, and I'm enjoying it. Again, I always say it's the highlight of my week. How are you doing, Pedro?
Good, man. Amen to that. Yeah. It's been a good couple months. I don't even, what number is this? I don't even know. 1,020?
It,
I don't know.
it
But
don't matter,
it don't matter. It feels
but
good.
it's like
Appreciate
a
everybody. Yeah.
it's like a slow, it's slow moving, but it's momentum, it's building. Appreciate everyone that checks out the channel, checks out the podcast if you're listening to this audio wise, and we have some really cool stuff lined up. But right now we actually have a pretty good show, and I'm sure you guys saw the title, but we actually have some more interesting stories as well as the first one. But you always ask this. Actually, I think last time I didn't, but what have you been listening to, Pedro?
Oh, man. Last week, I went old school, a little Tribe Called Quest in the car, Midnight Marauders, listening to the first Game album since he dropped that Drillmatic. Like, let me go back to what he did in the beginning, listen to some of that. So those are the two albums I listened to this past week. So a little old mid 90s and then, early 2000s Game. So that's what I've been listening to last week.
I would say we're on the same page. Maybe we're just old and we love nostalgic music now because we're tired or we don't like the new stuff that's coming out. I have been listening to a lot of Busta Rhymes. I don't know. I think it was like one song that I was like, man, what happened to that? Dangerous and other songs. Like, let me check this stuff out. And he's like one of those legends. He's never going to be up there with like the GOATs, but the man has been making music for 30 years at this point, and his energy.
Is he dropping something new? Is that a rumor, or is he supposed to?
Well, he had an album came out 2 years ago. It was pretty good, actually, like really, really good. He's always making music. He's always making music. He had a good song with Kendrick on that album. I think it's called Extension Level Event 2 because the first one came out in the 90s. It's the kind of music that you can listen to working out. Like it's the energy and
off the chain.
Oh yeah, and he's like one of those rappers where you don't really think about him like the greatest or anything, but damn, he's good. He rapped with everyone. He's been with Jay-Z, Tupac, not Tupac, Notorious B.I.G. He's been with everyone, Mariah Carey, Janet Jackson. People don't really put him up there or talk about him as one of the GOATs, but I will listen to all of his catalog. Tons and tons of hits, some deep cuts, and the guy can spit. I mean, he got the fast kind of technique and his delivery, but he still brings it, man. So I was listening to that for last week, just putting up old Busta Rhymes songs back, even when him Tribe Called Quest. I mean, Scenario. Yeah. I mean, I still remember the. Well, okay, I'm so old. There was a talk show host called Arsenio Hall. I'm sure you know him, but I'm sure I don't know if anyone else remember Arsenio Hall. But he always had like the best musical guest. Yeah,
that was Arsenio.
And when Tribe Called Quest came out with Scenario, and when Busta Rhymes came out with this reversible hat when he came up with his verse, apparently that was the reason he got signed to a solo deal. Someone saw that and was like, this guy's. And history, rest is history. So
he's definitely underrated. I think if we're going to put him in a category, he's definitely underrated, underappreciated. I don't know if it's because he's so energetic and he's a little wild and crazy, and even his fashion was different. His music videos, he was always very unique.
Love the music videos, yeah.
I absolutely love them. So I don't know if he got enough credit for the lyrics because other people were just looking at the visual stuff, you know. But definitely underrated. Yeah.
I appreciate our group who check out this channel because Quana said we went way back. Because that's what I remember. Couldn't tell you.
Always love to see you. Always love to see you in the chat. Love the support. Shout out to you, Matt. I saw Daniel in the house. Appreciate it. If you guys are in here, don't be shy. Say what's up.
Definitely. Yeah, I still remember it because it was so cool and interesting. Like he had the most creative videos, and he backed up. I think probably from where he came from, Brooklyn, New York, there's just so many rappers. There's just so many. And you got Jay-Z up there that takes a lot of that, a lot of the space. I think that's what it is. It's like a really good basketball player, but I'm gonna say the Patrick Ewing because they're both from Jamaica. So I'm saying that Patrick Ewing is one of the greatest centers of all time. But he was in an era where there was Shaq and Hakeem, who I don't. So no one will think
David Robinson.
Yeah. And he didn't win a chip. So I think I don't know. That just came.
So hey guys, let me just timestamp. We're 6 minutes in. We're already talking about New York basketball. Go ahead, Animal.
Listen.
I love it. I love it about you, bro. I love it.
It's all about me.
I love it. I love it. Shout out to your Giants, by the way. Your Giants look good. My Bears won. So right now we're on the same win total. So that's really good way to start off. So
I'm week one. I see a lot of crazy takes, and in a week one, I'm like, let me take a step back. I'm gonna enjoy the win. But there's been takes flying all over the place across the NFL. And I'm like, crazy. It's one game. We don't know who's going to. I mean, the only team that I saw for sure is fine and going to kick everyone's ass is probably the Chiefs. I mean, they demolished.
And they beat a team last year that was a playoff team. I think the Cardinals are a little overrated, but they did beat a playoff team. I think the Bills and the Chiefs both.
Yeah, those two. Yeah,
those two teams are ahead of a lot of so far leaps and bounds ahead of everybody else in my opinion. So
so those two is good. The Bucks was okay, and I love the fact. I don't love it. Okay, let me take that back. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I don't want to even get hurt. But
that was rough.
The NFC East is up for grabs a little bit. Doesn't mean the Giants are going to do anything about it. But if this dude, that can't play, Cooper Rush ain't it. He ain't the guy. So it's a little bit more interesting. Maybe Giants have more to play for. So we'll see. We still got the bet. And also you still have to figure out my punishment if the Bears get more wins. So you still have a lot to think about. All right. So before we got to get into the main meat of the show, the topic. I know
tonight's going to get saucy. If you're a sensitive human being, keep watching. But I'm just saying, opinions are going to fly tonight. So be ready.
Awesome. So you may not know anything about this next story, but I'm just a real quick story. I just thought it was very interesting for many reasons. What I'm interested in and what I like.
Anyway. I do. I think I know where you're going with this.
So in France, there was a dentist, not a real dentist, not accredited, not licensed, ran a practice where he was basically taking people in, doing dental work, pulling teeth with no medical reason, and has been doing it for quite some time. Very weird. Yeah, I don't even understand. Like, that's not. I'm like, why would you do that? Why you're pulling people's teeth without any medical reason? So this guy was a complete wacko. So he gets arrested, and that's where the real story comes in. So I'm gonna show you the arrest video. I'm not going to say anything else, and I want you to let me know what you notice in this arrest video. Let me put it on right now. Okay. Let me see if I put it in. It's 26 seconds. And I'm sorry for the videoing of the audio audience. Just look this up. Just say, well, I can't. You know what? Let me play it first, and I'll tell you when to look it up. Did you see that, Pedro?
What the fuck?
Did you see that?
Hold on. Let me.
For anyone who has, if the audio, is a podcast as well, just check up. Just type in French policewoman viral.
What kind of police do they got over there?
Listen. I'm gonna show you the picture real quick as well.
I mean, what's happening there? Like, what's going on?
The dentist is getting arrested. But let me see if you guys can see this. So yeah, this is the woman that helped put the guy down. Like arrested him or whatever.
Listen, I ain't trying to be that guy. I don't want, no disrespect to the women's in the chat, but I mean, there's a lot going on there. I mean. Yeah. I will say this, full disclosure, Hannibal, I know you're an ass man. You love a big booty. I get it. Everybody likes what they like. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot for me to handle. but I like I like a face. Like I'm more interested in seeing like what does she look like in the face?
You
That's
know
what I
what,
want to know.
Pedro?
I want to know
care.
I want to know the face. That's important to me.
I understand.
So if you could spin her around just for a quick second, that's what I'd be interested
I didn't get that. I mean, I understand what I understand what you like, Pedro, but you know what? I like a personality. You
Get
pig.
the
All right. So
that's
for the
in
people who
this
are
the small waist too. It's like what's that? Like how is that even possible? Like Jesus.
okay, so she's a police officer with a Kardashian size rear end, and it's very. You know what Drake had this one line where he said, "Woman's ass so big it makes everyone uncomfortable."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculously cartoon size. When you see the picture of you, like that gotta be Photoshop. They inflated that. It looks ridiculous. And then you watch the video, I'm like, she's wearing a diaper.
Yeah.
That's a diaper.
Yeah.
It's cartoon sized.
Yeah. I don't know what to do with that, bro. I don't know. I wouldn't really know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, yeah.
I think you might know.
It won't take. Listen. Let me tell you something else, Pedro. I always was a firm backer of the police. Okay, I back the blue 100%.
I'm sure you would back that blue.
Listen,
I'm sure.
I always appreciate the law enforcement here and abroad. You know what I'm saying?
Well, more abroad than here, I would say right now. But let me ask you a question. So Hannibal and I, we ain't about that life, right? We're both law-abiding citizens for the most part. But if you had to, if you got pulled over, you did something, whatever, guilty, not guilty, doesn't matter. And she pulls you over and she's like, all right, I gotta handcuff you, frisk you, all that, take you in. Well, are you mad or are you happy?
Well, I'm getting arrested. Probably not too happy, but it won't be as mad if it was just a regular cop dude, the one with the big belly and attitude. But she was pushing, moving people around. Like, hey, move the cameras. Like she was professional, 100%. It was just ridiculously big, and it was distracting. And no one's talking about the dentist who's pulling people's teeth out of their heads for no reason.
Yeah, but what kind of person goes to somebody like that? You know what I'm saying? Like for a dentist, you got to be.
He was running a fake practice. Yeah. So when you walk in, and it's really important too, and we can double back when you go to a doctor, a dentist, and when they suggest something, you don't necessarily have to agree with it. You can, second opinions are important. So if a dude is saying you got to take some teeth out, and you're like, I don't know, my teeth looks pretty good. I don't. Maybe I should go some. And that's why that fine police officer take justice. I always listen. Back to blue. Write that down. I just made it up. Back to blue. That's what I believe in. So I don't know. That was just something I wanted to get off my chest. We gotta find out her name. Maybe invite her on the show.
We gotta. She got an IG. She got like an OnlyFans.
Oh, and she's French, so I don't know any French. You know French?
No, but I love. Listen, my weakness is a beautiful woman with an accent. I just can't. I'm simping all day. I just can't even know. I don't know what to do with myself. I just don't even. I start foaming at the mouth. I can't act right, and I'm somebody. I got a lot. Like I'm pretty cool under most. With women, I can talk to them. It's no problem. But like as soon as I hear an accent, and like they're also pretty for me, I lose my shit.
Just melt away a little bit.
Here's my wallet. Here's this. What do you need from me? Like I'm complete simping all day.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? Since I mean, listen, maybe we'll learn some French, invite her on the show. You never know. You never know.
Never know.
But let's get into the main meat of the show. Now, Pedro brought this topic to me.
Yeah, unfortunately,
all over the internet. Tell me about it. Little Mermaid. I remember watching it. I used to watch it 1,000 times back in the day.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. My favorite Disney movie, the 2D cartoon, is Aladdin. Aladdin is my ship. Like that's Aladdin, then Beauty and the Beast, then Little Mermaid, and then the rest of them. But tell me about it. Tell me what's going on in the world of Disney.
Oh man. All right. So, somebody sent me this and then I went down like a TikTok rabbit hole because I was bored and I got no shame. And
nothing wrong with that.
So to give context, right? Disney's making a lot of these live action movies, right? Some of them have been pretty good, some of them have been bad, good reviews, bad reviews, and they're doing these live actions because why not? There's money in it,
Yeah.
and pretty cool. You got CGI now, and it's cool. So they're doing Little Mermaid. It's like, who doesn't like Little Mermaid? Great songs, nostalgia. They're in the water, so it's like, how are they going to do that?
Mm-hmm.
So they did the casting like a couple years ago. So it's been known to people that have known that they casted Haley Bailey or something. I forget her name. She's
Yeah, something like
22.
that. Yeah.
Real talented, young, beautiful actress. They casted her. She can sing really well. And then the trailer comes out, right? And it goes on YouTube. And I see that it has double the amount of dislikes versus likes. And on YouTube, that's kind of rare, right? I think we've seen it with like the Will Smith apology video that we talked about a month ago, and various other videos where there's a lot of just action and people don't like it or they have an opinion either way, right? And regardless of what side of you lie on, it's your opinion. That's what's great about this country. We can have an opinion. But I started to think, well, why so many dislikes? And then I see the trailer. I'm like, hey, it looks cool. Okay. It's black. I didn't know she was a young black actress. I don't keep up with the Little Mermaid Disney and who's casting, right?
Yeah,
Don't
me
care.
neither. Yeah.
Not important, right? And I'm like, okay, is it related? Like, why dislike that so many times? And then I start seeing these other little Facebook groups talking about that's not my Little Mermaid and the woke culture and this and that and all these little memes and people photoshopping these crazy, basically racist stuff. And, that's not the majority of people, but it is what it is. Let's call it what it is, right? And then the opinions, like, it's just so crazy to me that this is a Disney movie on a fictional, like, it's a mermaid, so it's not a real person.
Right.
The context of the story of Little Mermaid, there's no cultural context. So this isn't like Black Panther and people are trying to, it's not Mulan, it's not Lion King, it's not none of that stuff to where the color of the person playing or the kind of person playing this character literally is no significance. It shouldn't bear significance. But people are up in arms because she's not white with red hair, because it's like, oh, now we're woke. We're just trying to appease this and da da da. I'm so sick of Disney. And like, I understand why people think that, but I think it's kind of sickening to me that people have such a strong opinion about a young actress that can sing really well. And she got casted for this movie. And that's what people are disliking. For me, I don't know any other reason besides that. And I've seen some straight racist stuff. Like, there's pictures people are making with her sitting on watermelon and like she's got Newport cigarettes behind her, like straight racist, right? I don't care who you are. I don't care if you'd stop liking me. That's racism, in my opinion. It's my opinion. And it's like people forget. Okay, I'm going to go on a 30-second tangent. I'll be quick.
No problem. Go ahead.
People forget about characters that have been cast in Hollywood over the years and how there historically have been Black characters, Asian, Middle Eastern descent, Hispanic descent, casted and not casted by those type of actors. It's happened thousands of times. I could give you a list, but I'm not going to bore you. People forget Jesus Christ is not a white man. I don't know if you guys didn't know that, but a lot of people see him in pictures. He's got blue eyes and blonde hair. Get out of here. So like the hypocrisy within certain people having they're so mad because she's a young Black actress is like, it's an issue. It's crazy. Right. And, I think I've also seen people that have in the Black community are like, well, we don't want her to be Black because now it's like you're just giving us something. Like there's a lot of opinions on the internet about this, right? And I'm not a Black man, I'm a brown man. But when I see people so mad, when I see Middle America mad in their kitchens, drinking their coffee, so mad because Ariel got casted into it's a young, beautiful Black woman that can sing, and that's why she got it, and they think it's something else. I think it just screams all like it's crazy to me. I don't get it. I think it's people like to sweep things under the rug, but like there are a lot of people out here that just have hate in their heart. And these kids that are going to watch this movie, they don't care what the Little Mermaid looks like. I'm sorry, but they don't. It's only the adults that are making this an issue. And if you're one of those people, if I saw you, I'd probably smack you upside your face, because like there's no the hypocrisy within, like it's crazy. We've casted people. Persian, Prince of Persia was Jake Gyllenhaal. Like Angelina Jolie played a black woman, blackface. Mickey Rooney, Shirley Temple they put blackface on Shirley Temple. Like we have to remember, like this stuff happens, like, and it's just wild to me, man. Like I don't understand how so many girls now are going to look at this and be proud that they see themselves on TV. And it's like, it's great for a whole new generation. Right. And like, we're taking that away. And I don't know, man. It just kind of pisses me off, all the dislikes on that. And I think there's still a lot of big hate in this country. And like, it's just, the divide is still there. And when I see stuff like this, it shows me that it is, and it's kind of sad. So I don't know.
It's so many layers to this situation. And first off, is the reason why YouTube took away the dislike button. They took it away because when corporate entities post content, they get so many dislikes, and I think those corporations were telling YouTube, take it away because it makes us look bad. Problem is that you can download an extension on your browser so you can see the dislikes. That's why people notice the dislikes, because you can look them up. So they're hiding it, but you can find them if you really want to figure that out. I think the problem that a lot of people are having is, well, first off, people are mad at everything all the time. You can't please everybody. Everyone is upset about something. And another problem with Disney, the company themselves, is they've been force feeding some of the social justice stuff, some of the diversity stuff, where, and I'm happy I was born in the 90s and raised in the 90s, where race was a problem. I'm sure it was, but it wasn't to this extent, where you still had great movies that was about the actors and putting the best performance possible. And when you do that, diversity comes organically because you're getting the best people for the role, right? And now to a point where we got to a certain situation where a lot of these movies are being done as, oh, we need a black person. Oh yeah, we need a gay person. Oh yeah, we need a white. We need like the checklist instead of, no, make the best possible film or movie or show possible. Don't just put a black person in there to make people feel good. Like if she's the best actress for the role, now my wife says she can sing. I haven't.
Oh, she can. Yeah, I heard the song. I mean,
so if she could put if she could play a great performance, fantastic. It doesn't matter. Mermaids are not real, so they could be all types of stuff. I don't care. They're not real. The first thing is like, it's a fiction. I don't care. Like it's a mermaid. People who are really mad, don't watch Disney movies, because I watch them now because I have to watch. My kid, so I watch the cartoon and stuff. But if you're an adult, why? Is it like one of those things, like if you don't care, just don't watch it, move on? There's so many other things to be upset about. But people love to be angry. We're both content creators. We can vouch for this. People love to be miserable.
And I think regardless of your race or gender or demographic of income, I do think we want certain things to be nostalgic and the same, right? We talk about hip hop here. People don't like change. So I think a lot of the people that are looking at it like, oh my God, that's not the Ariel that I grew up with. And they're offended. But I think they're offended for the wrong reasons. That's just my opinion. I think the world's changed. The movie was made 35 years ago or something like that.
And it's still there. You can still watch it.
You can still watch it. Yeah.
I would say a lot of the new editions are not as good as the old ones.
Right.
I think they did well with Beauty and the Beast, and then Aladdin was okay. Lion King, I don't remember how, no one talks about that one. People still watch the old ones because you get used to the old ones. Like even me, I probably would always still watch the old ones, but movies have been remade for decades. This didn't just start this century or this decade. They remake them because they know it's going to draw a lot of money. And I think Juana's comment, the kids don't care.
And this movie's for kids.
And it's for kids. You buy a ticket, you buy some popcorn, you buy some food, sit back, take a nap, because sometimes you're so tired. It's for the kids. Take a nap, let them watch it, let them enjoy it. It may be a good movie, it may not. especially if it's forced, because I think a lot of the issues with a lot of these new shows and movies, they're forcing it. They're forcing the inclusion instead of just, hey, first of all, before we do anything, let's make the best possible movie. Let's get
Let
the
me ask you a
best
question
possible
though,
actors.
as a black man raising a young black man, right, in
Yeah.
America, do you think companies, whether it's Disney, and that's also what ABC, ESPN, they all fall under that same umbrella. He's a big media,
Yeah. Multi-billion,
huge
billion dollar
media,
companies. Yeah.
multi-billion, right? Do you think they have a responsibility to give a more of a representation to whether it's making a movie like in concert, where the Hispanic culture and Latinos can now celebrate in something. The new Black Panther movie, they bring in a character from the Aztec Mayan,
Yeah.
we don't have a Hispanic superhero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think companies have a responsibility to offer representation so kids or people can feel more involved? What do you say to that?
I would say that corporations, well, the first responsibility for corporations is to make money. That's the first thing. We need to make money. When you do that is that you make sure that each market, you're grabbing every market, right? So if, and I've seen this before back in the day when you did watch a sitcom and they always had like the one black person, and that
Mm-hmm.
term was token, right? The token black guy in the
Yep.
sitcom. Like it's a bunch of they did that because it's like, well, we need to get some black people to watch, put a black person there.
Yep.
Does that help? I mean, that's a complicated question, right? I think if you bring a black writer to that comes with a script about their experience, make that movie is going to do well. It's authentic. It's
Well,
real.
Black Panther
It's
did well
not.
because of that.
Yeah, I'm
Black
saying like,
Panther did so well because of it, and it was good. Yeah.
and I'm old, but I don't care. The '90s movies were the best. Friday with the best man with all these really good black movies, Boys in the Hood. They were written by black people that talked about their experience.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't really know too much about a black experience, but you just bring a black guy over and it's like, oh, I got it. Oh well,
Yeah.
I think that is pandering.
Yeah.
Where I think a lot of black people want to see their own stories, their own creations. Same thing with Latino people. Like if I want an authentic story from that culture, I want the people who to write it, not necessarily corporations looking to check a box. And I think that's the biggest problem. And Disney has been very, very, they've been responsible for a lot of the problems because of that checkbox thing. Let's get that done. Look at us. We're so progressive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you're kind of trying to play people. And I think that's the point. But what you're saying earlier with the photoshops and the anger, that's a little bit more like, okay.
And that's what kind of got me not riled up, but it's just like I should know better because that's just, we have people like that in this world.
Yeah,
It is what
exactly.
it is. But you mentioned companies have, they want to make money, right?
Yeah.
So let's look at it from this standpoint. Are we talking about, is Little Mermaid getting the publicity that's getting if they casted it a white redhead? No, I don't think so. Right? It's not getting it's not getting the press, right? So either one of two things happened here. Somebody made a decision and said, we want her to be African American because we want to check a box, like you're saying. But right, we want to be okay. So that either that happened, or the second option is we had auditions, and from what I heard, I don't know what's true because I'm not part of that decision making. Hundreds of girls. It was a tough decision, but they landed on her because she was the most talented. So either that happened, right? Anybody can audition. She was the best. She's got a great voice. She's perfect, whatever. Or the third thing is they did it on purpose. Like, we're going to, like, we want to make publicity, money. Maybe it's not about checking a box because we don't care about checking a box, but we're doing it just because, we know people are going to talk about it, right? So there's three scenarios there, and none of us will ever know, like, the decision making and how that person feels in their heart and their mind and when they decided to cast her as an actress. But like, it's just so sad. I'm not surprised, but it's sad that we're to the point where, you audition and maybe you don't get a role because of your talent. You get it for something else. I think historically that's happened in Hollywood and a lot of other ways. Even with jobs, you hire somebody because of this, but maybe they're not the most qualified.
Exactly.
That's been happening in this country for a long time. This is nothing new, but like, it's just sad that she's clearly got talent. She should be celebrated.
Yeah,
You see all
apparently
these.
she can sing very
She
well,
can
and that's
sing,
the
and
most
yeah, I
important
mean,
part of the role.
yeah,
Hopefully she, like there's some funny moments in there, and there's a lot of enduring moments of, like
yeah,
she's supposed to be very charming. At one point, she can't goddamn talk, so she's gonna have to, show, that's
yeah,
also a skill. So if she's able to do that, and I hope that they picked her not because she was black. So
yeah,
that's very important for a lot of black people. We
yeah.
don't want handouts. At least I do not want a handout. Hopefully picked her because she could do the role the best, and she looked fine to me. So I don't understand. She looked like like if I was a mermaid, if she came out. I don't know, out in the ocean somewhere, and she started swimming around. I'm like, oh, that look like that's a mermaid.
I mean,
red hair looks dreaded.
what?
Like that's what happens
Yeah,
in the water.
it's
Like,
crazy. And like people are like, well, you got to keep it historical, and like the crab is Jamaican. So
oh, you know what? The crab is actually the actor. He's from Trinidad.
Trinidad. Okay, so
Yeah, but he's from the Caribbean. But yeah.
He's from the Caribbean, right? So like, what people are just crazy, bro. I don't know.
It's
The
of all
hypocrisy
of all the movies I've seen, and people getting mad. People get mad for all types of reasons because they think we've become so cynical. We think of the worst case scenario. I think as a society, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So the people who are really mad, they think this was ham-fisted. They're just throwing this in our face. They're trying to do this and that. And what if they picked her because she was the best? What if this movie actually turns out to be a really, really good movie? I think of all the live action, Beauty and the Beast was the best one of all the live action ones.
I didn't see the Beauty and the Beast one. I haven't seen that.
It looked. I mean, first of all, it had like the best actress. I forgot her name, but she was on. Harry Potter.
Emma Watson. Emma Watson. Or something?
Yeah. So she was a great actress. The look was great, and they're gonna have the look because they have the money, they got the backing. But Disney has not put a lot of credibility in just making really good movies as of late. A lot of the Marvel movies have been hit and miss, and also they pick and choose sometimes who to kick out and who doesn't. So one instance, the show The Mandalorian. I'm not sure if you watched that show.
I've seen the first 4 or 5 episodes, maybe.
Yeah. So good. Gina Carano was she was one of the characters in the show. They kicked her off because it seemed like she was posting a lot of conservative views on her on her Twitter. And the last thing that she posted was something to the effect of something fascist. She had like a meme that looked like Jews. It was basically saying about fascism. I forgot the meme. They fired her, kicked her off the show. But the main actor, I forgot his name is, but the guy who plays Mando, he had a similar post way back. But he's a proud liberal, proud progressive. He didn't get kicked out. Now you can say, well, he's started a show. It's hard to kick him off. But it just seems like it's not a fair exchange of like, are we all going to be able to do this or not? And I think the confusion and a lot of outrage for conservatives are really, really interested in Hollywood stuff because they think Hollywood is programming children. They're programming people. And some of that stuff you can explain, you can argue, yes, possible, because when you watch TV, it's somewhat of an engineering process, but you don't have to watch it. You don't have the kids to watch it if it's that big a deal. I'm interested to see how popular or how much money this movie makes. But yeah, that's where Nova Dasher had a lot of people believe that they are forcing some agendas there. And Little Mermaid may not be any of that. It may be the best actress, and they do like, we actually picked the best one. This is going to work, and most people do not believe them. And I think that's the biggest conflict. I think.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll see. I mean, I think it's hard to say how a movie's going to look based on a trailer because we've seen some great trailers and some trash movies, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I'll definitely watch it at some point. Just
I try not to watch too many trailers. Even a movie I actually excited to watch, I don't want, because these trailers nowadays, they show the whole damn movie. Now this one didn't, but it's a shot by shot apparently, so we already know the ending. But some movies, they'll show the entire movie in the damn trailer. They show the ending, it's in the middle, but it's the ending. It looks like a final battle. Like they show so much of the movie that I try to avoid watching too many trailers because it will like the well, I think I watched the last Spider-Man movie. They basically showed that there was going to be multiple Spider-Mans because they were showing it. They tried to erase the one part where there was like the lizard was getting punched in the face by, I don't know, an invisible whatever. I was like, it's going to be a multiverse thing. Okay, cool. I don't want to watch too much trailer, so I don't know. That's my my opinion.
I think it's going to be interesting. I think I definitely think there's this wokeism in certain areas. I definitely think there's cancel culture, which I hate that. Like we can't be canceling everybody left and right just because it doesn't fit some type of media agenda or whatever else. We should be able to have free thinking and free speech, and we should be smart enough to decide things for ourselves and look at some things as just entertainment and leave it there. But there's definitely that stuff going on. I think sometimes there's a subset of people that jump to those things too quick.
That's
right?
a good point.
They jump to that too quick and without having enough information. And then also sometimes if you jump too quick, you forget about other things that have happened historically or within Hollywood or wherever else. And then you look like an idiot and a hypocrite because like you're saying, well, that's not my Little Mermaid, but it's like, hold up. Like, what are you saying?
You don't have to like it.
It's a mermaid.
Yeah. It's okay.
Let's not make a Disney movie into something like more than it needs to be. But I definitely think you're right about Disney as a whole. It's almost like they try too hard to be liked.
Perfect.
And to care about what people think and this and that. It's like, just make a damn good movie. And if it's good, people will watch it. And if it's crap, they won't. That's the one thing. It's like if you have a restaurant, right? Like, don't put all the glitz and all this stuff. Like, if you make a good burger, people will eat it. If the burger's trash, regardless of how your sign looks, people will not eat it. So if you're Disney, just make a good movie, do some good casting.
And they can do it. They got the money. They got the talent over there. I mean, the biggest movie of the last 2, 3, probably decade was Top Gun Maverick. Why? It was the most basic movie with the basic principles. It wasn't trying to lecture you about anything. It's a guy that is on an adrenaline kick in a damn fucking fire jet kicking people's asses.
I haven't seen it yet.
Like, keep it simple. And I think a lot of Hollywood execs are looking at that like, oh, I don't have to lecture people all the time. No, you don't. We want to watch a movie. We want to remove ourselves from how terrible life is. We don't need lectures. We don't need to talk about how terrible everybody is in America. No, just show us action or show us that police officer. We're not very complicated people. She should be in an action movie. Like, she was an action star. I'm going to watch it 10 times out of 10.
Can you put that back up again for the new people?
Well, I gotta.
So for all the new people that came in, there was a arrest in France. Look at this cop. Give me your thoughts. What do you think?
I think she's an amazing police officer. She was arresting people, and I think she's very, very special from what I've seen so far. And back to blue, 100%. Back to blue.
Good Lord.
Do not defund. More money needs to be.
More money.
I'm saying. Listen, I don't know if that was a whole setup. Maybe she don't need to do that job anymore. I'll tell you that right now.
Listen, dude, she needs OnlyFans. I'm just saying.
Right? All right. But speaking about OnlyFans, so I'm not sure you're familiar with the rapper Diamond the Body. Are you familiar?
No.
Yeah, me neither. I was not familiar until I saw this story. I'm not going to play the video because it, copyright, whatever. I'm just going to show the video of her doing her performance or whatever. Let me do this real quick. Okay, so this is Diamond the Body. She's a rapper. She is basically a clone of Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion. There's a lot of them, actually. A lot of female rappers who are. I don't know if that's all real. It's probably surgically enhanced, but she's a stripper. She may have OnlyFans.
Looks like Foxy Brown a little bit.
Yeah, and you know what? You're right. How dare I? A copy of Lil' Kim and Foxy Brown, because this is how all of them are. They are copies of the originals back in the 90s, right?
Yes.
So she basically had a viral clip of her talking about how much people she had sex with. And we're going to show that in a second. I mean, do you want to watch more of this, or you want to move on?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, good.
Not my style.
You know, I'll watch that later.
Not my style.
The lyrics are not good. The lyric is just very basic. Cardi B and Megan, a little bit elevated, and that's weird to say elevated. This is the most basic rap.
Yeah, that to me, like that kind of music, like is just I can't even. It's like nails on a chalkboard. Like it's not good. I'd rather listen to Cardi B than whatever. I can tell whatever she's saying has no value for me or substance.
No, it's I'm sexy. Give me your money. I have sex with everybody. Like it's very cool. And to be honest, a lot of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion's lyrics are the basically the same thing. I feel like they're getting a little repetitive.
Yeah.
But most rappers do rap about the same thing. So this is a little clip. Now I'm gonna give you guys a warning. It's a lot of cursing. There's a lot of cursing.
We're all adults.
Warn you right now.
We're all adults.
Yeah. It's gonna be 38 seconds. I want you to listen to what she's saying, and then we'll respond.
So this is a very exclusive interview. I lost my virginity at 12 years old. So, bitch, I've been fucking for a long time. It's not funny. I'm not saying that to just like, I'm just telling my truth. It's been a lot. Girl, is it just my body count for just niggas or niggas and bitches?
Everybody.
I would say like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I say like 2,000. To be real honest with you. Like if you put niggas and bitches, because I done fucked a lot of bitches too. So I be fucking niggas, I be fucking bitches.
All right, Pedro, I have a question for you. All right.
Did she say 2,000?
2,000. Hold on a second.
Well, first off, she said she lost her virginity at 12. That's a crime in itself. So I feel bad for her because somebody did not care for her. So if a young woman, if a girl loses virginity at 12, something's not right in the home. So she has some trauma there, I'm sure. So let's not gloss over that. So,
actually, I was going to ask this question. Always Cherry Pick came with a really good comment. Do you think she was honest, or you think she's trying to get attention?
I think 2,000 is, come on, no way. That's basically, I don't know how old. Do you know how old she is?
No, but she definitely looks like she's in her
20, 22.
Yeah, I don't know, early 20s, but yeah.
So if she's 12, so she's been having sex for 12 years, right? So if you do the math, I mean, come on, 2,000. Nah, she's trying to get clout. That's what But in that particular culture, our culture, the hip hop culture, that's how women become famous. It's sexualization. It's 2,000. It's like, oh my God, 2,000. Like that's gonna get. We would have never talked about her, and we're nobody. But now other people will have her on a podcast. In 2000, how do you tell me about your experiences? And no way, there's no way she ran through 2,000 people. No way.
Yeah, because like, what's Wilt Chamberlain's count?
His was like 1,000, I think. I think his was 1,000, wasn't it? 1,000.
No, I'll take it. Nova Dasher. Report.
Nova,
I know he's a sports analyst.
10,000? No way.
How many women did Wilt Chamberlain was rumored to sleep with? I think it's in the thousands. Yeah. So
I thought it was
kind of have your idea. This physically, it's impossible. I'm not saying impossible. Nothing's impossible, but isn't it so sad that she had to say that to get attention? If it's not true, like this, like her whole image is her being very hypersexual, and that's what the market wants. Now we just showed a video about a big butt behind, but the difference is like that. When I was watching all that, I've seen that so many times. I've seen the same IG look, the same videos, the same rappers doing the same thing. So what was interesting was a police officer that's not rapping, just whatever she had there, compared to this situation where it's the same rapper talking about having sex and doing this, and it's just not as interesting. And I think I saw a comment right here. Are you guys being hypocrites? What if the male rapper said the same thing? Well, I'll answer that by saying men and women aren't the same. And I know that may be a controversial thing, but talk to women. Talk to women and talk to about a woman that they know that has sex with a lot of men and see what they say about her.
Yeah.
It's different. It's just men and women are different. Men,
and I think if a guy's like, I slept with two, to me that's still just crazy. What are you running away from? Like 20,000? No way.
Yeah. So nobody.
No way.
Is Will Chamberlain? You know how many points he scored? He still has. I mean, LeBron's going to beat him, but
he's having sex with a different woman every day.
Will Chamberlain apparently 2 at a time.
Good for him, I guess, but still, that's like, man, I can't.
He was an ultra athlete. I mean, he was one of the greatest.
You know what? Will Chamberlain he should have won more championships. What did he get? He got 1 or 2 rings. Maybe he needed to spend more time in the gym and less time in the bed.
How dare you? That was. I mean,
what do you mean?
He was basically beating up a bunch. He was like the most athletic guy there. He only won until Russell kind of came in. He was giving.
He couldn't beat Bill Russell. And then he went to the Lakers. He won 1 with the Lakers, and I think he won 1 in 5. I mean, to be that dominant, that size, and only win 1, or I think he won 1 only. I think he only got 1 championship, maybe 2.
Listen, Nova actually coming with the stats.
That's
Will
crazy.
said he was sleeping with 2.3 women a day. What's a 0.3 woman? Was that a part of a?
I got a good joke right there, but I don't want to offend him.
Yeah, right enough. But going back to the diamond, the body. Now, this is giving her a lot of attention. So this is going to probably boost her, her cloud up and everything. Yeah. And, going back to what I was saying earlier, it's a difference. It may not be fair. Life is not fair. But we all know women who do that, have that kind of lifestyle, is not seen the same as a man. You can say life sucks and that's not fair and it should be the same. It's not the same. And, some men, they get mad. They're like, oh, she's a hoe, whatever. But you talk to a woman that thinks another woman's a hoe, they're vicious. You be like, hey, honey, calm down. Like, all right, that's her life. Why are you so angry? Like, some women are very angry when they see someone else doing that kind of behavior. And we're all adults, but I just found it interesting because I think it's partly she lived a very different life.
Yeah, and she said men and women. So I think, she was a stripper or was an ex-stripper. So living in that lifestyle, you're having, there's a lot going on there. You're living a fast life. You're chasing that money. I'm assuming she's had sex for money. I'm assuming she's just, I'm just assuming that meant she's chasing that dollar, right? Do what you got to do. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. But like, that's crazy, man. But I don't want to gloss over what I said in the beginning. When you're a 12-year-old girl, and I'm not a girl, right? But I have 2 daughters. There's some issues there. There's something's going on, and so she looks at sex very differently because she was 12 when she lost her virginity. That's not normal behavior, and that's not okay in my book. So, it's not like she lost it when she was a woman. She's, whatever, 17, 18, 19, even 16, right? A teenager, right? 12, I think, she obviously looks at sex and values it very differently. And, at some point, it's probably going to catch up to her and she'll find Jesus or whatever's right for her, and then she'll stop. So we'll see.
We'll see. I think, 12 years old, you're becoming an adult way too quickly. Men tend to take advantage of that kind of behavior. I'm sure she's been, again, 12, you're not an adult. You can't consent. Most places
you're like 7th. You're in 7th grade. You're not. You're like 6th or 7th grade. It's crazy.
So I'm assuming a lot was going on, and there's a long interview. And she says she has a lot to say, and a lot of it is not based on healthy relationships. So I would say that it don't seem like she had a lot of healthy relationships. And the problem is when you deal with in that kind of world of men taking advantage of you. And I'm not saying she's a victim of all these circumstances, but at 12 years old, unless it's another 12-year-old, which is, we're all guessing, highly unlikely.
Yeah.
You're dealing with the worst of men. So she has a lot of comments about how men ain't this and they ain't that. They can't do this. Because she's dealing with the worst men, and those type of relationships basically shape, her as a person, how she interacts with people. So it is very interesting.
We got a good question. I think we might need to answer this. What do you think? Okay. I think that's a great question, actually.
All right. You two as men, how do you feel about women who had a lot of sex with different men pertaining to you if you're dating that particular person like her and you found that out?
That's a tough one. You go first.
I don't ask if I'm dating someone. Maybe if I'm dating someone, if I was dating someone today, I would not ask how many men they slept with. I would not ask. I'm not interested. I'm curious, obviously, but that's not something I need to ask. If I know about the person, I'm getting to know them and see what their patterns of behavior. I mean, their patterns of behavior will let you know if they have been around or doing something that's unhealthy. But I wouldn't be asking. I don't do that sex question. Oh, how many men you've been with? Like, I don't do that. I think that is something. I don't think you can say is your business or not, but some men can't handle when a woman says a few, right? Or they say 6 or something. You're like, oh my God. Like, first of all, like, you know what I mean? Like, some men can't handle it. And I'm not saying I can't, but I'm not going to put myself in a position where we're dating. I'm asking those kind of questions because it does feel some level of insecurity. I would notice her behavior, check out her decisions, see how she's interacting with people.
Yeah.
That will give you enough information rather than figuring out how many men the person has been with.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think?
Good point. I think that, you know, the current behavior, lifestyle, and where they're at in their life currently as I am dating them or getting to know them is more important to me than their past. I do believe it's going to be very situational. You know, it's not a question that I have asked women. I think that's a personal thing. I think it comes up in conversation and then you just naturally, organically, yeah, you know, I've been with this many women or this many men, whatever. I look at it like this. If I'm a taken man, I'm not married, but I have a girlfriend. We live together. We've been together for a while now. If I was going out into the dating world, I'm 40, right? So for me, I'm not going to date down too young, but my range is, I could date younger, I could date older. It doesn't matter, right?
Right.
But if a woman would openly tell me I've slept with this amount of men, like, that just came up, and everybody's number could be different. Some people, like you said, 6, who knows? That's maybe kind of low for, let's say a woman's 30. That could be low for some women. For some women, it's high. It depends on your lifestyle, maybe your religious background, how you're brought up. And if some woman told me she slept with X amount of men, I don't know. But she's in a different place in her life now. Like, for me, if she wants to be in a good relationship with me, what's that say about me? Probably something pretty good, right? She doesn't want to sleep around anymore. She doesn't, she's past that, and she chose to date me, and she wants to be in a relationship with me. And if I could sexually please her well enough for her to stay, I must be pretty good catch, right? So I'm not going to base my current situation and how I am and how she is based on past stuff. I have a history. I have a past. So I wouldn't want somebody to judge me. Now, and I'm also probably not going to date somebody if she's ran through a lot of men, and she's, still in that kind of lifestyle. I'm not going to date her. I'm not going to, that's not the kind of woman I want to date and go out with. Right. So then that number becomes irrelevant for me. So,
yeah. What Bobby is saying, the double standard with hyposexual men compared to hyposexual women. Yeah.
Some women just like sex. What's wrong with that? Yeah, exactly. That's a great point.
It is double standard. And, not me or Pedro made that distinction. Like, we didn't make the rule. Just go out in the world and see how people behave when you're dealing with a woman that's been, and even if they're proud about it, I think a lot of people, they say, yeah, you should be proud, but in closed doors, when you talk to your girl or you talk to someone about that person that's proud, they may say something different. Yeah. I'm just, trying to be real.
What's here. The old thing? What's the old equation? If a woman tells you something, you're supposed to add 7, and if a man tells you, you're supposed to subtract, right? So if I say I slept with 100 women, you probably slept with a lot less. And if a woman says I slept with 5 guys, it's probably 12. That's kind of like,
Or they say women, they say when they go out on vacations and they have some fun, they may not even add that in there. Probably same for men. I mean, it's really about the person, like you said, where they are in their lives and seeing how they behave and what decisions they're making. Who they talking to, who their friend group. Like, same thing with just like a woman talking to a man, who are they hanging out with? If the dude is always in a strip club all the time, is that someone you would want to be? Hey, let's have a committed, and you're always in the strip club all the time. Like, we all see some red flags. Sometimes we ignore them because either we like them a lot and they do some other things. So,
but it depends on your lifestyle. You could go to a strip club and not be like a bad person. You just want to be entertained. And there are couples that go together. It depends on, your lifestyle. And for me, what I've learned in the million mistakes I've made in relationships, and I've been divorced once, it's just you have to communicate and be honest with each other, right? So if you have a certain like or a fetish or this or that, you guys got to know about that at some point, and then you decide, hey, I can rock with that, I could do that, I could not do that, I could compromise. And usually, like, the best relationship I've ever had is with my current girlfriend, Madison. We know everything about each other. We're very open and honest. We have tough conversations. We're not afraid to offend each other. We're not afraid to hurt each other's feelings. We're very open and honest, and that works, right? And we know what each other likes, and we accept each other's past. And if you do that, it doesn't matter the shit I did 20 years ago to her. You know what I'm saying? If anything, I can be honest about that, and it's really freeing because I don't have to hide. I don't feel judged, and she feels the same way. So some people maybe like to go to strip club and throw the dollars around together. Ain't nothing wrong with that in my book. So,
well, Nova Dash says he never understood that. Why bring your girl to the strip club with you? What if the girl's into girls too?
Some people, yeah, Nova. That's what I'm saying. We have to understand that there's social norms, but then there's people that live outside of that, and there are people that like to do that together. She might like girls. There are people that have certain fetish. Like I think we have to understand I think it's healthy sexually when you're in a relationship to openly talk about what you like, what you don't like. I think that is I think not enough couples do it. And then that's why people cheat and you have to be honest about that. Because to me, sex is a huge part of a relationship, in my opinion. It could be the demise of a relationship, or it can make a relationship last a long time. I think if you talk to people that have been married a long time or been together in whatever facet, if they have a healthy sexual life and they feel connected in that way, that relationship is much stronger than people that don't have that, in my opinion.
I feel it. So that I guess the idea of bringing a girl to a strip club has some comments. Eric jumps in and she may want to flip to Nova. And Nova said, I feel like it would be a trap. It depends on the person you're with. It really depends on the person you're with. And I think what you're saying, Pedro, there needs to be trust, no judgments, and a level of confidence and security. Like, you gotta be secure with yourself. If you even if it goes wrong, right? You date someone and they do cheat, that it may not be anything you did wrong. It may be, but the self-awareness to say, hey, listen, it's not going to work out. You do the healthy way of being in a relationship, but also healthy to say, hey, I need to not be in this relationship because your lifestyle doesn't fit my lifestyle. And that's totally fine. So, and I'll probably put the link of the full interview. It's a lot to unpack of what she's saying. You could tell she had a really interesting, but a really rough life to why she even decided to do what she's doing. And hopefully she, like you said, find healthy relationships, because you have a better life when you're in a healthy relationship.
So, I couldn't agree with that more. I mean, it's not easy to get to that point. It's hard to find a person that you can kind of, nothing's 100%, right? It's hard to find a person that can kind of get you and you get them, and you guys could build off each other's strengths and weaknesses. And, that's really difficult to find. Yeah. And I would say Nova's talking about he likes to go to the strip club with his boys, not his girl. I get it. You got to do what you feel comfortable with. I would counter with, when you go to a strip club, it's very transactional. Everything's out in the open, literally. It's very transactional. You know what you're going there for. The girls know why they're there. You know why you're there. I'd rather go to a strip club with my girl than to go to a club with my girl. When you go to a club, there's a lot more stuff going on.
That's a good point. That's a good
fights
point.
And this and that, and
who knows who's with what, and if you separate somehow, someone's talking to your girl, and
yep.
Yeah,
strip club, you don't get that. You take your girl to a strip club. Them strippers are going to be on your girl, taking care of her. They're going to want to dance with her. You're going to have probably a better time than if you take your girl to a club. 100%.
Interesting. See, some advice from Pedro Nova Dasher. Bring your girl and then report to us later.
No. I'm not saying that.
Okay, you're not saying that? Okay. Oh, yeah. And Nova said that Wilt won 2 championships. That's not a lot of championships. The guy that scored that much points.
It's not a lot.
But he scored 100 points, Pedro. All right, he scored 100 points. There's no video about it, but
Yeah, it happened, but still.
Damn, we already had an hour, so I don't want to go to too many stories. Do you want to do the the football stories since we're kind of on the sports tip? You want to check it out?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna show. It's actually a few days ago. It was on. It's another crazy Pee-wee football story with a crazy parent. It's about 2 minutes. I'm gonna show the YouTube video if I can find it. It's I looked at it. To be honest, I didn't even watch the whole video yet, but I was like, let me save that and put it on here. So let me see if you guys can check it out. I'm gonna press play and see if I can hear it here.
13, a Pee-wee football mom banned from the sidelines permanently, accused of chasing and threatening a 12-year-old child.
Well, witnesses say that child played for the other team and had just tackled the woman's son during a game. ABC 13's Daniela Hurtado has more of the incident caught on camera. Daniela.
Eric, Gina, we got to speak to not only the 12-year-old child, but also his mother. They filed a police report with the Houston Police Department, and HPD says they are looking into the situation. This all unfolded on Saturday, and the mom of the child who was chased after says she's very upset that a grown-up was threatening and chasing after her 12-year-old son over something that should have been a fun afternoon game. This is a situation in question. A woman with something in her hand chasing after a 12-year-old over a Little League football game. The child running away with his hands in the air.
This is ridiculous. Like, how could you get that angry at a kid's game? Your son plays football. They tackle each other. That's just the name of the game. How can you get that upset to chase him, and not only chase him, but curse him while you're chasing him?
It was the first game of the season for the Southside Ravens. They were up against the Northwest Gorillas. The game was cut short after just a few minutes of starting.
Yeah, he was okay. I picked him up and everything, and he was actually trying to shake my hand after the play until I guess his mom started chasing me.
An incident report by the Youth Football and Cheerleading League uncovers the parent in question was found in violation of multiple code of conduct policies. The YFF calling the woman a substantial threat to the environment.
Hey, if you cannot control your emotions that much that you get that upset, then you don't need to be around kids. But no, nobody has said anything to me.
She has since been banned from all events and activities permanently, and so have the rest of her family and children.
I hate that her son has to suffer. I hate that team has to suffer because we don't hate them. We do this for fun.
The woman will need to pay a $200 fine, and so will her son's former team, the Northwest Gorillas, for $500 for not controlling the sideline.
I think it's just a learning lesson for everybody, for our team included, that you just can't take.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. What do you have to say? What's your thoughts, Pedro, on that one?
What kind of adult running after a child? Like, what is happening?
He ran away. Yo, what's wrong with this chick? This chick is crazy. My hands up. Listen, I got nothing. Yo, back up.
That is just, oh man, that woman needs a man in her life, a woman in her life. She needs a hug, some love. She needs something, a drink. I don't know what she needs. She needs something, because that's just not normal behavior. And it would have been funny if he would have turned around and just tackled her. You know what I'm saying? Just took her out. That would have been great.
Yeah, it just like what's going on here? And I know, my son is 8, and eventually he's gonna want to do some sports. I'm like, is this what I'm about to deal with? Or some wacko? It's tackle football. It's football. Crazy. Did she know what football is supposed to be? Would she just assume that he was being aggressive? Like, football is about being aggressive, and if you can't handle that, then why is your son is even in the sport?
We talked about this a little bit about parents and stuff, and it's they taken away from the kids, man. You know what I'm saying? You're basically making it about you at that moment.
Yeah,
and you're not making
right.
it
Like
about
her son can't play, and now that crazy. You just embarrass yourself, it's just. I tell you, I mean, we kind of went over a little bit, so we weren't able to talk about some other stuff. But what is going on in our society? Are we just losing our minds? We are way more aggressive than we were a few years ago. We are quicker to fight. We are quicker to kill. We're quicker to rob. I mean, look at all of the crime stats over the last 2 years.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think it's that? And I don't know because I don't have the numbers in front of me, right? Or do you think it's just that we have these now? I think these kind of parents who are doing stuff in the 80s and 90s, I just don't know if we knew about it because we didn't have phones. Now everybody's filming everything and making TikToks. They got their phone out at games. They're looking at stuff. So when something happens, instantly you start recording. And I think it's a mixture of that as well, because now and then it's automatically on the news, or it goes viral, or like I said, it's on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. It's somewhere, and then we hear about it. I think some of this, it's been like this. I don't know if it's more or less, is what I'm saying.
I think I agree partly. I think it's because that we're too connected to our phones. I think it's based on we are getting so much stimuli from the phone that is affecting our mental health.
Yeah, it's a good point.
And we're losing our minds a little bit, because I think if you go on your phone and you see a couple of posts or you read a story that bothers you, you may take that outside somewhere where you get in your car and now you're cutting someone off. I think you watch something that you really didn't like that someone said on a post somewhere. I think it does take it. So I think the social media has damaged a lot of us, especially young people, especially young girls, young boys too. So I think I think you're right to a certain extent. I think less of this probably didn't happen when you didn't have that. You had TV. And if you didn't watch TV and you were outside hanging out, you weren't on your phone getting mad. Yeah. You were just watching the game. I'm sure you had fist fights. Yeah, fist fights and all types of things happening. But that, I don't know. Some woman chasing some kid because he got tackled. I'm sure it may have happened.
Well, right? I'm sure it's happened. I just don't. I think you're right about the way we're consuming information, and then what it does to our psyche, and then how we react to things. And everything right now is instant gratification. We want everything so quick. We want our food fast. We want our information fast. We don't have patience, right? We just want. And then we're so used to getting information quick that now we're quick to react to things that happen around us versus waiting.
Exactly.
Versus, somebody just hit my baby. I got to do,
Get too impulsive.
Everything is so quick now. We've made everything else around us and how we react just as fast, because we feel like we need to almost catch up to the technology and every, so it's like too much of a bad thing. If you have something in excess, it can be bad. And I think sometimes with certain people, an excess of social media and gratification, instant gratification, and being so mad and coming out of the pandemic, and people are locked down, like somebody said, for the last couple of years, and now everybody doesn't know how to think. I think it's just, some people are spiraling, and it's not good. It's something we need to kind of keep an eye out for ourselves individually. Like, where are you at with that? How are you with your social media? Like, how are you reacting to things? Like, sometimes we got to pause.
Sometimes you just get off the phone. The Driven Dad had a really good point. Digitally connected, but socially, real life connected, not even close. People can't even eat dinner and talk as a family without a phone in their face. And also, Tony talks about his kids as well. My kids get 6 hours of screen time a week as long as they accomplish their responsibilities each week. If they're not, they get 0.
Yeah, I used to do the screen time with my stepkids, and tonight I cooked dinner and no phones at the table. And I caught myself. I had my phone in my pocket. It went off. I pulled it out. I said, "Whoa, shit." And I put it down, because you have to have some time, whatever that means for you. Your family's your family, right?
Yeah.
Tony does the 6 hours. Maybe somebody else does less or more.
Yeah.
We have to do that.
Yeah. For my son, he's not allowed to get a tablet until the weekends. So Monday to Friday, he doesn't have a tablet. I feel like TV, used to call it the idiot box, right? You can sit there and watch TV, and that probably wasn't healthy either. But the phone and the tablet, it's like next level. Like you're attached to, like, it's Ready Player One. You're a wallet.
Well,
you
carry it around with you. You can't carry a TV around.
Exactly.
So when you have it, the accessibility of it makes it worse in some way.
Yeah, and notifications, they're begging you to come. Check this out. Hey, your friend posted a stupid picture. You want to see it? Like, not really. All right, what he said. what she said. Oh, like, you know, like, especially the FanDuel app. They're like, yo, look at this, look at the odds over here. It's pretty good. You want to bet?
Crap,
like,
bro. You gotta be careful with that. Yeah. This weekend, so fantasy started. I play fantasy football, and I didn't know this because I have notifications off on all of my apps. I don't want notifications because it's just too much, right?
Yeah.
And also, I want to get the information when I want it. I don't want to be fed it. I want to go and get it. And but in my ESPN app for my fantasy, when one of my guys would score a touchdown, it would go off. I was like, what's that? And I was like excited. And I was like, oh, I got to turn this shit off. I don't need it. I'll just wait to see it later, you know? But we're inundated with all these bells and chimes. And it's like, it's
designed. It's designed to do that. They created it to do what it's doing. Yeah. And some of them, the people who developed this from Facebook, from years on, they realize they've created a monster. It's destroying, especially young people, where we all had like you know, growing up, we'll deal with TV. And that probably wasn't great sitting in front of TV watching Nickelodeon for 3-4 hours, 5 hours a day, playing video games. But the social media, the stuff that's happening with these apps is like a whole different level, to a point where I wouldn't mind my son playing video games. All right, because eventually you're going to stop playing because you're going to get bored or whatever. But when you're on that tablet and you can get games, you get games for free just on the App Store, just downloading. You'll never get off. Yeah. So like, you definitely, I believe, I do agree with Driven Dad and Tony. You have to make structure. You have to put restrictions.
It's just like anything else, you know. A lot of us wouldn't eat. You know, we shouldn't. Well, I'm not going to give nutritional advice, but we shouldn't all be eating cake every day, and you know what I'm saying, and drinking 20 beers a day, and then eating nothing but candy every day. Everything you have to limit yourself sometimes. And social media and phones and technology, in my opinion, should be no different, because one might deteriorate you physically with weight, or it gives you an illness or whatever else if you're eating crap every single day. And the other can mess up your mind, right? So really, it's like we have to be careful of it. And I think these apps and everything is designed to make, you know, you said idiot box with the TV, right? It's even worse with the phones right now. Way worse, like 100 times worse.
And that's you know, going back to even the diamond in the body, where her interactions wasn't apps, but there were people, just bad notifications, bad stimuli, bad, and that changes to, you know, who she probably is, where I'm sure she may be a good person, we don't know that, but when you say that you've done that with that many people, that's not normal. So when you do some abnormal behavior, it's what's going on. So
100%.
Take off the notifications off your phone. Nova Dash, I just saw it. I see this all the time. FanDuel be like, if you need help with gambling, call this number after you place the bet. Trust me, they did not want to do that.
You know, I don't. I know you've been betting a little bit. I've bet in the past, but not a lot. I am placing a bet this week. I'm going to do what do you call a parlay? I've already got my teams picked out. I'm not going to say them yet. It's going to be all football, all money line. I got teams that I feel very confident that are just going to win based on historics, and some teams that don't lose back to back. So I'm looking to place a bet. I'm only going to put probably about $100 down.
Ooh.
But I think this bet, if I win it, I don't know if it's going to be a 4 or 5 team parlay. I haven't even looked at the odds yet, but I got them in my brain. I think I might $100. I'm willing to lose 100. I think this bet could probably net me $800 or $900. So
we'll see. I mean, you jump at 100. Let me jump on this bet, Pedro.
I'll let you know, Nova. I'll let you know.
Parlays.
I like that's where the money's at. I'm not doing just one. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing just one.
You're going all in.
I'm going all in.
Parlays is kind of I'm not saying it's a sucker's bet. It's hard to win. It's just hard to win.
Sure.
I mean, that's the whole point, right? Where I kind of stay with straight bets because the odds are a little better in my favor. I mean,
for me, I don't want to place 100 on the Packers to beat the Bears, let's say, because I think that's going to happen because Aaron Rodgers beats the Bears all the time.
He wins.
I'm going to bet with my brain, not my heart. And the Bears just won. Aaron Rodgers coming off a loss. he's lost to the Bears like twice, I think, in his 2 or 3 times in his entire career, which is crazy, right? And only a couple times only once in the last like 5 or 6 years. So I don't want to just put 100 on that because I'll probably win like $5 because they're going to be favorites, right? But I'm going to pair that with this game, and then I don't want to win $5. I want to win 500.
You're betting in your parlay. One of your teams is Packers beating the Bears.
Oh yeah. I bet with my brain, not my heart. Yeah.
So what happens
if the Bears win?
If the Bears win, you must be still happy, right? I mean, you lost
exactly.
$100, but
I lost $100, but they won. So it's a win-win.
Yeah. I don't bet on my team. I mean, the Giants. Well, no, that's true.
Yeah, but to me, that's easy money to have.
When the Knicks are playing, when I was doing a little bit on the NBA, I always bet against them. Always, always win because they were so bad. Yeah. Like if a team just is so bad, now are you gonna make a lot of money? But what you do is you can do a little parlay. Like they're gonna lose, but RJ Barrett's gonna score over 20 points. He's gonna score over 25 points. So you could mix it up a little bit. Strip. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, I'll throw a little parlay. Listen, don't listen to any of our gambling. This is not.
Don't listen. It's not.
Listen. We only look at French police officers in this channel. We don't tell you how to bet because
I gotta find that IG, bro. I gotta find it.
She may not even have one.
We're gonna make one up. We're gonna make one.
Just that one picture.
Just the 2 pictures that we saw today.
Definitely. All right. Well, we definitely went past it. Thank you guys for checking out, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Hit the like. We're gonna be putting more content out. Props to Pedro hitting up with the shorts. Bringing some of that shorts attention.
Yeah,
to the
I'm gonna try to. If y'all don't know right now, I know we got some content creators in here. Listen, Tony, Driven Dad, I'm talking to y'all. You guys need to make more shorts. YouTube is pushing the algorithm with the shorts. Cherries, you got a channel. Make shorts. That's my advice to you guys. Thank me later. I'll be doing it on this channel because trust me, you need to do it.
I've looked at the numbers. It's doing very, very well.
Shorts.
The channel is really picking up, and I appreciate you guys. Everyone who comes in every week, check us out. The Bobby, obviously, and Nova always coming in, bringing the stats. 2 championships with 2.3 women a day. I'll take those. I'll take those stats, Paige. I know you scoff at that. The guy who owns the scoring record.
Yeah.
I think that's a pretty good career.
It's very good. Yeah. very, very good. One of them is very good. The other is subpar.
Fair enough. But on that note, guys, enjoy the rest of your night, and we'll see you guys next week.
See ya.
Peace.